Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Animation Appreciation Podcast. Today we'll be covering Disney's Robin Hood. Before we begin, I just wanted to explain the process of rotoscoping. Rotoscoping is the painstaking process of tracing over a reference video one frame at a time. Disney was not the first example of this, but we have seen many examples of Disney reusing a rotoscoped reference animation, just with a different character doing the action. Like the dance between Robin Hood and Maid Marian, as well as the Aristocats Duchess and the cat O'Malley. We also see the head tilt of Baloo in the Jungle Book is the same as the head tilt of Edgar from Aristocats. This is not cheating. It's only cheating if it's a perfect one-to-one. But if it's the same motion with exaggeration or even a furry new appearance, then it's not cheating, it's just using a reference. I'm standing on this hill and I will die here that using and maybe tracing references in a not one-to-one way is not cheating. Fight me. Rotoscope used on detailed human models has an uncanny valley issue. In case you don't know, uncanny valley is when something looks normal, but when you watch it, it gives a deep feeling of wrongness and dread. You can see this in badly done 3D animations, and mostly their human forms, but when it's used on simplified human forms like Betty Boop or anthropomorphic animals in this case, things that are classified in our mind as not human to start do not fall into the uncanny valley. The best modern example that comes to mind is AI art. It tends to pass as fine at a quick glance, and the more you look at it, the more unsettling it becomes. With that being said, let's begin. Here at the beginning, we have Disney's original opening of a book. This is because before animation, books and nighttime bedtime stories were how everyone heard these tales. Yes, we do see this mocked in the movie Shrek, and more modern films, but mostly Shrek. In the beginning here, we also have an Easter egg of the rooster, who is voiced by a famous country music singer, Roger Miller. Also, if you want to see how old your friends are, sing this opening song. Us older folk will absolutely sing along. Just in these opening shots, we see hints of everyone's character and personality without a word being said, just in how they move about and act. Truly great animation doesn't need words to outright tell you personalities, they show it. This is called the, show don't tell technique. Most of the characters we see here are rotoscoped, besides Sir Hiss. Every character following the rooster we see is actually a proof of a test of animation called the walk test. Show a character you're animating just walking. If it can't get your personality across or at least show individualism, then you need to change something. Each character here should have a different pose, pace, or something about them that is unique specifically to them. And here in these shots, we actually see each and every character has something different about the way they walk. The other version of this test is called the sit test. Animate your character walking into a room and sitting down in a chair. No words, just action. The sketch lines, when the animation picks up, is a good choice to show speed, and overall, it's just a style choice from the time. All the backgrounds in these older films are hand-painted backgrounds. Usually, they're actually very long backgrounds. Also, I'd like to point out that every type of animal has a unique walk cycle, and each pair of animals walking with the king's, whatever you want to call it, has a unique walk. That means somebody sat down and designed a walk for everyone, which in itself is impressive. The map that they look at has our Trent as a river, Licullen, and Derby for nearby towns. The animation on Prince John is well done to show his arrogance and also how goofy and silly he can be with this thumb-sucking thing. I would also like to point out the way that Sir Hiss's coils come out to emulate arms so he can rest his head on them is a style choice to make an inhuman character relatable in a human way. The ring Robin Hood took reappears when the lights are out, but without the stone. All the stones are gone from all rings. Robin Hood and Little John play as they are running. The theme for Robin Hood and Little John plays as they are running away. Signs around the town say tax sale, tax dodger, and tax auction. Though, real question, if they're all poor, who's going to go to the tax auction? Back when this was made, they had to record ambient noises. That's why we have so many sound effects to choose from in our sound clip libraries of various studios. So we don't have to go out and re-record all the sounds, such as the sound we hear here of shoes on stone. By the time we see Prince John in the tournament, he has new rings. Can I also point out the facial expression on Sir Hiss changing from angry to hurt? During this time, animation like this is known as cell animation, meaning each frame of a character's animation was drawn on a clear cell, placed over the hand-painted background and photographed, then replaced with the next cell, photographed, and it kept going. Anywhere from 30 to 120 pictures are seen on screen per second. So for every 1 second we are looking at, that is 30 to 120 pictures. Each picture is known as a frame. There are two important kinds of frames. There's keyframes and in-between frames. The keyframes are the important parts of the animation, the poses that must be struck, or the positions that are most necessary to tell the story. With between frames there, so the motion isn't choppy. Between frames can also be considered transition frames, as they transition from one keyframe to the next. When you use enough, the action is smooth and flowing. This cell-style animation persisted until 3D modeling was brought mainstream to studios. The dance we see Little John do here is the same one as Baloo in The Jungle Book. There's another one that with Cluck and Little John being Baloo and King Louie. Maid Marian's dance is the same as the Duchess from the Aristocats. The buttons on the organ say Vox, Stop, Go, Bass, and Forte. Bass would drop it down to a lower tone. Forte would make it louder. Vox would mean vocals. He says 1 o'clock and all is well, but the clock says 3. The little skip step Robin Hood does as he starts to follow the sheriff is known in marching band as a skip step. It's meant to help you get into step with the rest of the band. Next time you watch a bunch of band members walking together, you'll notice they do walk in step, or they do that quick skip step to get in step. We can't help it. The way they made the child's eyes shiny when they filled with tears. Subtle, hand done, and well done. Well, that's all I have for Robin Hood. So have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening. And always remember, if it's animated, someone did it on purpose. Thank you.